Welcome back to another track test video here at Toronto Motorsports Park, where today's victim is this rather tastily modified 996 Carrera 4. All right, everyone, if you're a truly dedicated fan of this channel, you might actually recognize this guy. We did a hidden track review of your Forester XT at our lapping day, I think 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yep.
Where I took his so-called silver bear around for a few laps, and he cheered me on as I abused it, and had a ton of fun in that thing. It's set up really well for the track. And you have a silver nickname for this car too?
The Silver Shark.
The Silver Shark. And you even gave our Miata a nickname. What's it called?
It's the Silver Squirrel.
The Silver Squirrel. I love it. I was going to say the silver hairdryer, but whatever you want to call it. I'm loving these silver nicknames. And this is not your average 996 by any means, is it? It's got a lot of sweet stuff on it.
Yeah, it's a lot of OEM Plus upgrades. Just trying to chase the whole GT3 dream without the holy Metzger motor.
Yes.
But putting my own taste on it.
Yeah. So it looks very much like a GT3. You were saying this is like an early version of that body kit?
Yeah, so this is the body kit that it was a factory aero kit, but they this was the kit that was on the GT3 for the first GT3 ever over in Europe, and in the US we got the 996.2, which got a different body kit, but this is the kit that was on the GT3, the first GT3 in Europe.
Right, and it looks great. I especially like the wing. They call it the taco wing, which
taco wing.
Have a close look at it, and I can see why they call it that. You've obviously changed up the wheels, tires, and brakes on it as well.
Yeah. So the brakes, they're 996 turbo calipers, but with spacers to be 997 turbo diameters, and the front rotors are actually Cayenne rotors. Maybe a little heavy. I'll probably upgrade that in the future. And then a GT3 master cylinder and stainless lines, your kind of usual stuff.
Sure.
Pads are Hawk. I know you were talking about Hawks earlier.
Yeah.
So there's that. Coilovers, the Feel 441 coilovers again, like I have on the Forester.
Yeah, good stuff.
Try to keep it in the family there.
Familiar feel for you.
Yeah.
No pun intended, everybody. And you put, it looks like a fair bit more front tire on the car than it would come with stock.
Yeah, actually, this is it's a GT2 setup. Actually, it's a lot of overkill. It's 235 in the front, so it's not that crazy. But the back of 315s.
Okay.
I've done that really to try to dial out any possible snap oversteer in the woods.
Yes. That's the tail of the dragon driving.
Yep.
And any other mods? I mean, I can see you got a GT3 seat in there.
Yeah, so I got the GT3 buckets. They're amazing. I can't drive the 7-9 hour drive home. I can't drive it all the way, in those seats.
You swap them?
Yeah, swap them. Swap them out a couple minutes. But yeah, so the seats are amazing. The steering wheel, changed the steering wheel, then I did a bunch of, just recently did a bunch of breathing, all the bolt-on power stuff.
Okay.
And so did a GT3 throttle body that's much bigger. You can actually put the stock throttle body inside the GT3 throttle body. Yeah. IPD competition plenum, so it's like your intake manifold, smoothing that out. And then did catless X pipes, but I don't drive those on the street.
No, of course not.
No. Then finally, to top all those things together, have the from Evolution Motorsports ECU flash.
Okay.
And those guys are great. They make really good stuff that are really tuned.
Okay.
There's a lot of companies that will just make intakes, just and kind of just slap it on there. They have one of the best intakes on the market, and their ECU tuning ties all of those parts together. So the throttle body, the intake, the exhaust.
So do you know a power number on it? You haven't had it in the dyno?
It dynoed stock 250.
Okay.
But now it's probably going to be 310, something like that.
Oh, that much, eh? That's a good jump.
Yeah, I mean, well, all the parts, all the breathing parts, and then the tuning with it. The tuning really just kind of modifies and smooths the power band.
Right.
It's a 3.4 liter, so it's the little 996 motor.
I actually drove this exact, well, not this exact car, but I drove a first gen 996 at Skip Barber 15 years ago when they had them in their fleet of cars, and it was great fun to drive. Tremendous drive out of the corners with all that weight over the rear tires, but it did have throttle on understeer. So mid corner, if you go to the throttle too soon, it would just sort of wash out.
Yeah.
Is that something you've noticed as well?
Yeah, it'll do that a little bit. Yeah, I prefer that than oversteer, obviously.
Sure.
But yeah.
It's kind of a 996 characteristic. I think it's kind of hard to maybe tune out as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, only one way for me to find out if that's still a thing or not. And that's to jump in this thing and go for a rip.
Listen for the intake sound.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. All right, everybody. This is going to be a treat. I'm really stoked on this car. I just love the way it looks, and I mean, hey, it's a 911. What's not to like about that? I know the 996s are sort of the unloved, early early water-cooled cars, but I think they're starting to experience a bit of a renaissance now. I think people are starting to realize that they're a lot cooler than, no pun intended, than people might have thought. So, and I just love the way this car looks. He's done all the right mods to it. No surprise, Steven's a real hardcore car guy. He knows what he's doing, and this car's 20 years old, but somehow it doesn't feel it. It just feels really tightly screwed together. Germans know how to build a solid feeling car. I will say the brake pedal is really high and the throttle pedal's quite low. So heel and toe is a bit of a stretch, but let's stretch the legs on this motor a bit here. Oh, it revs beautifully. It's got long gears. Wow, the brakes are good and strong. Excellent grip. I think I failed to mention it's on a Falcon RT615K Plus tire, which is a very good 200 tread wear summer tire. It's I think Steven's sort of tire of choice. He's got these on his Forester XD as well, so it's kind of like the tire that he knows. Man, this thing's got some nice linear power. See, there's that throttle on understeer. Such a unique feeling with these cars where in the middle of the corner, if you go to the throttle a bit too aggressively, it just pushes straight. So you have to be really patient with the throttle. You really got to get it turned before you go full gas. And it's so tempting to get on the throttle sooner because it has such great traction with all that weight over the rear tires. This car feels dialed in, man. I remember being blown away by how good his Forester felt. He really had that thing dialed in, and I gotta say, Steven, even just on a warm-up lap, this thing already feels dialed in. Boy, it makes good power. It's got long gears, but it seems very much at home around the track here at TMP. Just a little correction there in turn one. And it's got long legs. Like I'm only in third gear here at the end of the second straight. Oh yeah, it sounds so good. Boy, it feels confidence inspiring. Like, I know Steven worries about snap oversteer, but this thing feels really good around here. Like I should just drop throttle to get it to rotate and then back on the power. Steven, I think you've built yourself a TMP car. You don't even know it, buddy. What the hell? This thing's quick around here. Really good. Brakes feel very confidence inspiring too. He's done a fairly significant upgrade there as we discussed, and it shows. You can really, surprisingly, you can trail brake this car and it's not unhappy about it. Wow, so good. Picking up the front tire there a little bit. I feel like Porsches are known for doing that, and it's got that feeling where it gets really light when you go to the throttle in the front end. What a cool experience to get to drive this car. It's so torquey. What a tractable motor this is. It just has power everywhere. You never feel like you're running out of puff. You just want to use all of that power band. What a fantastic motor. I know it's not the Metzger. It makes me wonder what a GT3 must drive like, because this thing is a blast. I love it. Steven, you're the man. You know how to build a car, buddy. What a great job. What a great job. Woo! It's quick and it's fun. It's so rewarding to drive at the limit. It's so trustworthy. Like, you always hear about snap oversteer and throttle on understeer, and yeah, it's got a little bit of throttle on understeer, but it's not bad. It's very manageable, and it has no sign of wanting to snap oversteer on it. Like, I could rotate this car on throttle. It just slides a little bit. You go back to the power. It's very adjustable with the throttle. It's super confidence inspiring at the limit around here. It just feels stable. It feels grippy. The motor just feels strong throughout the rev range. It's really, really good, man. I did not expect it to feel so comfortable. Like, I haven't driven one of these cars in, like I said, maybe 15 years. And just jump in it and rip it that hard and feel that confident, to feel that sort of in tune with the car right away. That's not common. I mean, this is really inspiring stuff that Steven's found a combination of parts on this car that just make it work extraordinarily well around a really tight technical road course like this. I can see it being an absolute blast on the tail of the Dragon where he loves to go driving. So, well, everybody, the lap timer doesn't lie. She did a 122 flat, and I feel like I'm just sort of touching the tip of the iceberg with this car. It just didn't do anything scary or bad, and I was sitting there the whole time kind of like waiting for it to bite, and it just never did bite. So then I kept driving it harder, and it seemed happier, and then I started like trying to see if I could slide it around a bit, and it would rotate on throttle. It never showed any sign of like snap oversteer, and I guess with that much rear tire it shouldn't. But typically with a really wide rear tire, once you overdrive it, it's like suddenly you go from a lot of grip to no grip, and it doesn't do that. It breaks away really gradually. It's a very confidence-inspiring car. In fact, I gotta give a shout out to Winding Spirit. That's Steve's Toge crew. These guys build cars for Deals Gap, but they also apparently build them for TMP, because this thing is perfect around here. I kind of blown away how well behaved it was. It just wanted to be thrashed around here, and it just never did anything even slightly scary. So I really want to jump back in it and go for more laps. I won't do that because that'd be cheating our lap time leaderboard, where I only ever do one session in the car, just to kind of show you guys what the car can do with that one exploratory session in it. But I know it'll go faster with another session in it because I'm just kind of learning how the car wants to be driven. The one weird thing that it did do, and you'll notice in the video, a couple of times downshifting through the chicane into second gear, it didn't want to go into second gear. So I would just double clutch it, and it would, like a granny should, and it would go back into second. And then I'd just check for the danger to manifold thing, and it was always all clear there. But that one sort of quirk was the only thing it ever did on that session that I was kind of like, okay, there's something a little unusual going on here. And Steven told me that the engine mounts tend to allow a lot of movement in the drivetrain, which can make that downshift to second a little quirky. He's put stiffer mounts in it, which apparently helped quite a lot, but maybe there's a little bit more to do there to cure that problem. But other than that, I really can't criticize the car in any way because it was so much fun. I mean, as you saw from the in-car, I was just having a blast in that thing. I had nothing negative to say about it. I was just praising the damn guy the whole time. So all I can say is, Steven, keep building cars and keep bringing them back to TMP, because whatever you do and it works amazingly around this racetrack. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope I haven't driven up the price of 996s for everyone, because I'm going shopping for one right now. I'm getting a GT3 body kit on my non-GT3 and doing a lot of this stuff to it, because it's just perfect around here. It's the right amount of power, it's the right amount of grip, it's the right amount of fun. Is there anything I need to turn off?
Nope.
It's got none of that nanny stuff, eh?
I have,
You have PSM off there, yeah?
That is kind of permanently off.
Okay. You got it set up.